Hey, what's up everybody? How are y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well and having a good weekend. Now today, I bring to you a WWE games video. As you can tell by the title, I'm comparing 2K's last 3 WWE game releases. 2K17 versus 2K18 versus 2K19. Everybody says the WWE games are the same every year, and I disagree, but I won't explain why, but you'll see the differences in my comparisons. I'm going to do this with points. I'm going to rate each thing I compare from all 3 games and give all of them a rating out of 5 stars. Whichever game has the most stars in the end is the best WWE 2K game, in my opinion, at least. I'm going to compare gameplay, graphics, soundtracks, menu screens, and a few other things. We have a lot to get into today, so let's get right into this one. First, let's start off with Seth Rollins. I'm going to do a comparison of his entrance, and then I'm going to show off him versus Baron Corbin in all 3 games. He's going to be the guinea pig to lead us off, basically. So, into the entrance, it started to look better over the years, obviously, because they kept improving the graphics as they released the new game. I'm impressed with 2K's efforts on Seth Rollins' attire that they did for 2K17. He returned in May of 2016 with that attire, and this game came out in October of 2016. I mean, he is one of their biggest stars that are going to be in the game, but still, adding a new attire isn't the easiest task in the world. Probably easier doing the theme songs. With 2K18, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't add the Burn It Down into his theme, but he started doing that in August of 2017, I believe, so not a lot of time, and his entrance was probably finalized at that point. So I'll blame WWE for not doing that earlier, and I'll call it a day. With 2K19, not a lot to say, but it looks smooth as hell. So I'm going to say 4 stars for 2K17, rushed to get it in, and did good. 2K18 gets 3.5 stars for no Burn It Down, and they should have used the post-WrestleMania 33 attire in my opinion. And 2K19 gets a 4.5 because it looks smooth as hell, and for the use of the SummerSlam 2017 attire. My next comparison will be Rollins versus Corbin, but basically the gameplay. Now, each game feels smooth, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to be honest, 2K17 might be my favorite in this because it's simple, one-on-one action, and as much as I like 2K18 and 19, they don't need all the extra added shit. OMG moments are perfectly fine, and I don't understand the new abilities that 2K19 has to offer, but from what I've seen so far, they're useless. And 2K18 doesn't have a lot of that either. I think I'm going to give this one to 2K18 actually because it has some of the stupid abilities and shit, but it's still easy to focus on the match and no tutorials popping up every half second when it's your first ever match. So 2K17 gets a solid 3.8, 2K18 is a 4, and 2K19 gets a 3.5. My next comparison will be the soundtracks. 2K17 has 2 good songs in my opinion at least. The Bring Me the Horizon song and Lockjaw. It was nice and shocking to see Kodak anywhere near a WWE video game soundtrack. Lockjaw was definitely a curveball from WWE games, but I'm not disappointed. I'm not into Bring Me the Horizon, but the song that was on the soundtrack by them was pretty chill, and the beginning part had some sort of echo on the loading screen that sounded fucking awesome. So props to 2K there, nice soundtrack. And now 2K18 soundtrack. Oh my god, was this a downgrade. I hate to say this, but The Rock picked this soundtrack. Yes, Dwayne fucking Johnson of all people has this kind of taste in music. I mean, he's 40, and I love The Rock, so I can't hate him for giving us a shite soundtrack. He tried, and I appreciate it. I'll say that. Thank you for that, Rocky. But altogether, I just didn't like the soundtrack, except for Boys in the Hood. But it was censored and shit, so like, fuck that. I mean, if you're gonna censor that, why the fuck would you even add it? Come on now. And now 2K19, I like this soundtrack. Apparently the entire WWE locker room made the soundtrack, I think. I don't know. But also, apparently, the WWE locker room has a good taste in music. Migos, Eminem, Posty, and even the Fall Out Boy song was good. So if 2K could keep The Rock far away from the soundtrack as possible for the next few years, and continue letting the WWE locker room pick the soundtracks, I'd appreciate that. Signed, everybody who plays your game. And now my final ratings are 2K17 4 stars, 2K18 3 stars, 2K19 5 stars. And now my next comparison is Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd is one of my favorites and one of the superstars I play as quite a bit each year. I don't understand why they couldn't throw him in 2K19 as he's been in the game for the past 3 years despite his injury. I get it, he's not talked about a lot and he's not a huge star, but I mean, if he was in the game for the next 3 years after his injury, why the fuck not add him into 2K19? Honestly, they probably forgot about him, but either way, whatever happened, 2K17 and 2K18 get 2 extra stars for having Tyson Kidd. That's instant gratification. Next up is my career. 2K17's my career was a pain in the ass. I'd literally beat the #1 contender 3 weeks in a row, then beat the champion in a non-title match, win, and still be at number 4 in the rankings. Makes no sense. And there also wasn't necessarily a story either. It was just run around, beat somebody up, win a title, stay on NXT forever. When you eventually get called up, have 2 rivalries, and then end up becoming the champ. Go you! It wasn't until 2K18 the next year that my career started to change and actually be good. When 2K17 came out, my career felt the same every year, and the trend just continued into 2016 and 17. 2K18's NXT roster is Akam, Alexander Wolf, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Hideo Itami, Johnny Gargano, Cassius Ohno, Killian Dane, Nick Miller, No Way Jose, Razor, Roderick Strong, Sawyer Fulton, Shane Thorne, and Tommaso Ciampa, as well as the women being Asuka, Billie Kay, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce. Once again, NXT's top prospects at the time, and they added so many NXT superstars in 2K and even 2K18, and even more than ever. That's fucking awesome on 2K's part, and props to them for that. The roster for 2K18 was huge altogether, and it was probably a pain adding all those NXT guys in at the time. And now, WWE 2K19's my career. This is the best my career in a WWE game ever. The story is cool, and even if you don't like the story, at least they made an effort to do a story focusing on the player himself as a person, and not the WWE superstar. So, it starts out with you as an indie wrestler. You fight a guy named Cole Quinn, and when you win, you get a contract from Matt Bloom, representing NXT. You get there, face Braun Strowman as a local competitor in a steel cage on Raw, lose in 2 seconds, build a little hype behind you, do an interview where you say stupid shit, get your contract offer taken away, and go back to the indies, and I'll let you find out the rest. Low-key, I don't know what happens next, as I didn't get super far yet, but I also don't want to spoil it too, so yeah. But hey, the story so far seems awesome, and already better than 2K17 and 18's. Final ratings are 2K17 gets 2.5 stars, 2K18 gets 3 stars, and 2K19 is a solid 4 stars. My next comparison is Universe Mode. Universe Mode is actually the same every year. It got me there. But I gotta say, Universe Mode has to be the funnest mode in WWE games. There probably are differences, I just don't notice them, I guess. It's almost like a GM mode, except you're in control of every show. So it's basically Vince McMahon mode. It's fun though, consistent every year, and kinda like a My Career mode for current day WWE superstars. So not much there that's different, just a fun game mode every year. The menu screens are an important factor for me too, because it's the first thing you see once you open the game. 2K17's loading screen is fucking dope. I love the smoke and superstars popping up at random doing a pose or something. It looks clean, and with actual good music from the soundtrack playing, it makes it even better for me. Navigation is easy enough and an upgrade from 2K16. I don't really have any complaints for the 2K17 menu screen. And 2K18, it's meh. I don't really like the wrestlers in the background doing moves on each other, and what looks like to be an empty factory with the wrestling ring sitting in the middle of it, and they're not even like moving or anything, it's just a picture of them fighting. Sure, it looks fine, but it's too dark and just a little uninteresting when compared to 2K17's menu screens. Navigation is basically the same, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind the menu screens in 2K18 too much, but they're just less interesting. And now 2K19's menu screens, I love it. They outdid themselves this year with it and it looks dope as fuck. The superstars fading away, looking like the Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good meme, and I fucking love it. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm gonna go with legendary. It's a menu screen that looks like it's designed for a UFC game added into WWE. Even when selecting your superstar, it looks cool as fuck. I wish the wrestlers were doing a pose or something on the screen, but it would probably look weird with the design they ran, so I'm cool with this. Navigation is better this year, and I think they overachieved with it this year. Final ratings are 2K17 4 stars, 2K18 3.5, 2K19 big 5 stars. Into my next comparison, Nxt Involvement. Nxt Involvement is so important because it really is the third brand of WWE. More people watch it than ever, and a lot even say it's better than the main roster product. I don't watch NXT on the regular, but I know their roster, and I love it, so I'm glad they add NXT stars. 2K17's NXT roster is Buddy Murphy, Chad Gable, Dash Wilder, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, Jason Jordan, Samoa Joe, Scott Dawson, Wesley Blake, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bayley, Carmella, Dana Brooke, and the motherfucking Red Queen, Eva Marie. Keep in mind, these were NXT's top prospects in 2016. Although most of them were called up to the main roster that year, and all but one of them have been called up by now. It was still the top prospects when they were designing the game, basically. 2K18's NXT roster is Akam, Alexander Wolf, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Hideo Itami, Johnny Gargano, Cassius Ohno, Killian Dane, Nick Miller, No Way Jose, Razor, Roderick Strong, Sawyer Fulton, Shane Thorne, and Tommaso Ciampa, as well as the women being Asuka, Billie Kay, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce. Once again, NXT's top prospects at the time, and they added so many NXT superstars in 2K and even 2K18, and even more than ever. That's fucking awesome on 2K's part, and props to them for that. The roster for 2K18 was huge altogether, and it was probably a pain adding all those NXT guys in at the time. And 2K19's NXT roster is Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Angelo Dawkins, Bianca Belair, Bobby Fish, Johnny Gargano, Kairi Sane, Cassius Ohno, Kyle O'Reilly, Lars Sullivan, Montez Ford, Nick Miller, One Lorcan, Otis Dozovic, I think. My bad if I mispronounced that. Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong, Shane Thorne, Shayna Baszler, Tucker Knight, Tyler Bate, and Velveteen Dream. Larger NXT roster than ever, and the NXT involvement got better as the years passed. Overall, good shit by 2K on all three though. My final ratings are 2K17 with 3.5 stars, 2K18 with 4.5 stars, and 2K19 with 4.5 stars. And another roster that's fresh and new is the 205 Live roster. This will also be my final comparison. 2K17 didn't have any cruiserweights because the cruiserweight division became a thing right when the game came out, so that's why there's no love for the cruiserweights back in this time. But 2K18's 205 Live roster is Akira Tozawa, Brian Kendrick, Cedric Alexander, Enzo Amore, Gran Metalik, Jack Gallagher, Kalisto, Neville, Noam Dar, Rich Swann, and TJP. Neville and Enzo's final WWE game appearances was 2K18 as a part of the Cruiserweight roster, and even though 2K missed a few on the Cruiserweight roster, they did aight. And WWE 2K19's Cruiserweight roster is Akira Tozawa, Arya Daivari, Cedric Alexander, Drake Maverick, Drew Gulak, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, Gran Metalik, Hideo Itami, Kalisto, Lince Dorado, Lio Rush, he will be DLC by the way, Mustafa Ali, Noam Dar, and TJP. Now, I don't understand how it was hard to add Murphy, He is now the Cruiserweight Champion, so that makes it a little worse. Plus, he was in the games before, so it really doesn't make any sense to me. But still, as long as Tony Nese is at it this time, it's all good. Don't understand why he wasn't in 2K18, but whatever. The final ratings for these are tied at me for 4 and 4 each. 2K18 didn't have Tony, but had Neville and Enzo. 2K19 has the extra additions missed last year. And that is it for comparisons from the last 3 years. 2K17's total is 23.8 points, 2K18's is 27.5, and 2K19's is 30.5. So it looks like I think WWE 2K19 is the best WWE game released in the past 3 years. Okay, I'm cool with that. Unfortunately, 2K17 didn't have the Cruiserweights, which is now a big part of WWE games. So 17 and 18 get that extra edge. But anyways, that's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it the whole way through, you're the real MVP.